Hi everybody, welcome to Coffee Break Accounting with me, Becky Brooksbank. If you haven't already, go and grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee, whichever your preference. Press pause if you need to and come back and settle in for my accountancy, jargon-free accountancy session designed to help you better understand your business numbers. So we are coming to the end now of series 1, which is everything to do with the profit and loss account. So we have, over the last 6 episodes, looked at sales, gross profits, net profits, you name it, everything there is to know about the profit and loss account for the size of business that you are. Now, we took a step along the way to understand 2 really important numbers in your profit and loss account. So the first one was the gross profit. So this is how much profit you're making from your revenue after deducting the costs of the sale. So everything that's involved in the selling. Okay, so that's the first really important number in your profit and loss account that you need to look at. If you haven't looked at series 3 where we looked at net profits, go away and recap. It will help cement that idea in as well. Or if you want to just have a look again, feel free to go back, jump back and have another look. The second really important number that we looked at in the profit and loss account was net profits, and that was in the last episode, episode 6. Again, net profits are the profit after deducting all overheads that you have in the business. So it was sales, less direct costs, less overhead costs for your business. Okay. Now, both of those numbers are really important for you as a business to understand. It will help you understand whether you're earning money, whether you've got potential money for investment in the future in your business, and will just generally help you get a handle on where your business is up to and what you're doing. So we looked at John Tapp. He's our resident case study, okay? John Tapp is a plumber, as you will have all got to know, and has a sole trader business, okay? And he's run his profit and loss at the end of the year, probably to do his tax return, okay? And hence why his profits are for the year. And he earned just over £17,000 in net profits for that year, which is a really good outcome for a small sole trader business, okay? Now, I get asked quite a lot, how often should I run my profit and loss account? Okay, now that is really dependent on the information that you want to get out of it and how much you want to know about your business. Okay, now legally, if you're a limited company, you have to run your profit and loss once a year in order to generate your financial numbers to send to Companies House. You don't have to submit your profit and loss account to Companies House if you are a micro entity, which means that you have revenues of less than 160 grand. But as part of the financial numbers, it is important to run your profit and loss account and have a full set of accounts with it in, otherwise your numbers won't balance, okay? So likelihood is you've probably got an accountant who runs that for you once a year. Now, that's all well and good. And it's great to reflect once a year. But imagine John Tapp's doing his tax return. His year end is the 5th of April, and in theory, he doesn't have to file that tax return till the 31st of January. So he might, if he's really disorganised, not actually do it till the 29th of January. So he won't actually know what his profits looked like for that year until 9 months after the year's happened. So he's gone through 9 months of trading in the new year with no knowledge about his business. Okay. Similarly, for a limited company, you've got 9 months to file with Companies House. So again, you're 9 months, if you leave it up till the deadline, you're 9 months through a new financial year before you actually know how you did in the old one. Okay. So the danger is, if you leave your running your profit and loss too long, you've missed a whole heap of insight and you could have implemented changes that you might have wanted to make a lot earlier. By running a profit and loss, you're giving yourself numbers to support that gut instinct you had. So if your gut knows you've been doing fine this year and you've got some money in the bank and everything else, then likely is your profit and loss will reflect that. But if your gut says something's not quite right and I can't pinpoint what it is, then likelihood is your numbers are going to tell you something that's going on in your business. So how often do you want to know? Now, we said I'd keep it as jargon free as possible. I'm going to use a piece of jargon, accounting jargon now called management accounts, but don't worry, I'll explain to you what they are. So management accounts are produced by companies generally on a monthly basis if they want a snapshot of the health of their business every month. You can do management accounts quarterly, depending on the size of your business, but I can tell you, if you speak to many accountants, be it whether they're accountants like me in practice or they actually work in companies as accountants, they will roll their eyes and say, it's month end again, okay? And I've got to get my management accounts done. So what management accounts do is they are basically a process once a month for creating the profit and loss and another document called the balance sheet, which we'll come to in another series, so just ignore it for now. They are basically running your financial numbers and generating the financial statements each month, but in a timely fashion. So most management accounts are run within 2 weeks of the year end, of the month end. So if you're finishing on January is your month, then likelihood is by the 14th of February, you'll have done your management accounts and it'll all be done and you'll have all your insight into January already. I like to say about 10 days after, so would usually have a time for deadline of the 10th, but I know some businesses that have a deadline of 2 to 3 days after, and they like to have their management accounts done really fast, okay? Now, management accounts are basically, as I've said, a key to looking at your business on a regular basis. Okay, so whether you chose to do them monthly or quarterly, they are just a key to give you an insight. And as part of those management accounts, the common things are to run your key performance indicators for your business. So things like calculating your gross profit, calculating your net profits, looking at your turnover, comparing your management accounts from this month to last month and seeing what the movements are. Okay, so management accounts are designed to give you a snapshot of information of where your business is done and how it's done in that period, but also to start to build up a history of your business. Now, I have clients that I do management accounts for, and I'm going to be the total geek accountant here and say I absolutely love doing management accounts. Okay, I just feel so privileged to be on a client journey when they let me do their management accounts every month, because they give me so much insight. So a business might say to me, oh, Becky, do you know what? January was such a tough month. We had this going on, we had that going on. It was my daughter's birthday. I was still dealing with the outfall of the Christmas and everything else. And January was such a tough month. And then I calculate the management accounts and they've had an amazing month. And January is a great month of sales. And I can say, do you know what? Yeah, it was hard, and it was hard for reasons that just aren't always work. That's life. But just look at the results that you've got. Similarly, there might be a client journey where things have been really tough for a while. The management accounts are showing really tough profit margins, and they've been struggling and they can't figure out why. And then we start to dig into it and I say, well, maybe you could try this efficiency, or how about looking at this? Have you thought about looking at some of your contracts or your suppliers and pushing the price up? Or what if you increase your prices by 2% at the top? How would that look like down at the bottom? And so even having clients where things aren't going so well is actually even more of a better challenge, because it just gives so much opportunity to have those discussions with a client. And for me, part of being an accountant is getting out there and having those discussions and listening, because very often clients think, yeah, it's been a great month, and then you're like, oh, actually, has it? The numbers don't reflect that. Why don't the numbers reflect that? So that's one part that I love about being an accountant, is just being able to take what the client's telling me about their business and how they're feeling and how it's all going, and then interpret that into the numbers. And then for me, then looking at the commerciality aspect. So what's it telling me commercially? What can they help with commercially, etc. I am 100% more of a commercial driven accountant than a technical one who spends hours analysing spreadsheets and everything else. Yes, it's part of what I do, but I love my passion and buzz comes from the commerciality of it. So I honestly feel such a privilege when I do that, but you could feel that too. So if you were running your own management accounts, then you could feel that too. And I know that many of you listening to this, watching this series, are sat there thinking, I'd love to have an accountant, but I just haven't got the funds to do it. My net profit won't allow me. I'm still trying to find my feet. And I hand on heart believe that you should be running your profit and loss information, and that you can do it, okay, with the right systems and setup in place. So if you've struggled to find your profit and loss and you haven't quite got a template, let me know, because we can do a power hour together and we can work on it together and finish up with a template of what your profit and loss could look like. And then you can go away and start to build that up over time, okay? So that's an option. Another option that we have is that you keep holding on till series 2. So series 2 is going to look at simple systems. Now, if you use an accounting system like Xero, which is what I affiliate with, but also like QuickBooks, there is a magic button to press every time you want it that says profit and loss account. Click, and it will produce a profit and loss account for you. And you can even ask it to do it with a percentage turnover to calculate your net profit margin and gross profit margins. So the key to it is, okay, so if you haven't necessarily got the money to afford an accountant to do all this great work for you, by setting a system up and keeping on top of it, then you can actually do that for yourself and have some business insight. Okay, that is wholly possible to do. So there are options out there for you as a business owner. That doesn't mean that you can, you have to go and take a new loan out to afford an accountant to do it. And that's where I want to go with in series 2, is to help develop these simple systems. So if there's something that you want help with now, then obviously feel free to head over to www.charwithassociates.com and have a look at the different options on our website. The contact us button is on there, so you can contact me at info@charwithassociates.com. You can give me a bell. All the information is on the website, so feel free to head over there and have a look. If you're happy to wait to series 2, then series 2 will be starting in a couple of weeks' time. I'm taking a bit of a pause in between, 1 to catch my breath, and 2 also because I want to make some guest appearances, all right? Being in business is about not being alone, okay? Now, I have a network of great contacts around me, HR, pensions, personal finance, websites, IT, all that type of thing that I've spent my time creating a great network of. And what I want to do is make some guest appearances in the interim weeks so that clients like yourselves, or potential clients, business owners like yourselves, can understand what other people there are out there to help you in your business. Okay, so these guest appearances will come in a couple of weeks in between Coffee Break Accounting, so keep an eye out for them. I'll still deliver them to your inbox in exactly the same way, and then I'll give you information of when Series 2 Simple Systems is going to go live. So remember, it's going to be looking at creating simple bookkeeping systems that you can try and implement in your business, and giving you snapshots as different ways that there are to do things out there. So that's it. That brings us to an end of Coffee Break Accounting Series 1. I hope that you've enjoyed the series and you've got as much out of it as I have. Please feel free to get in contact if you've got any questions. Otherwise, I will look ready and look forward to you joining me for Series 2 Simple Systems. Take care. It's bye from me, Becky Brooksbank.